Hey guys, this is a quick cityscape watercolor sketch. It's the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City, and in this video you are going to see me do this sketch step by step. So it's part of a notebook, a sketchbook I've made dedicated to New York City. Maybe in one of the next videos I will show you the entire sketchbook. If you would like to see that, please do not hesitate to comment. So this video will be structured in three main parts. The first part, you will see me do the sketch using an ink pen. I have first made like a quick loose sketch with a pencil, sorry. But I did not film that because it's gonna get a little bit boring, I guess. So you will see me just sketch the Brooklyn Bridge using my ink pen. It's quite of a loose sketch, and you will see that for some parts I will do it by hand, even though it's quite of a straight line architecture, because I think it does add some sort of liveliness and spirit to the watercolor. But then for the end lines of the bridge I will use a ruler so that some of the lines are straight, and even though it's not a proper architectural drawing. So yeah, so the pen I've used is like a 0.5 pen, so that's half a millimeter. That's one of the thinnest you can have. And I will just draw like a person standing on the bridge with an umbrella, because it was a rainy day, as you will see later on, as I will put some watercolor on it, and I hope to be able to render that so that you can feel that this was a rainy day, even if the person didn't wear an umbrella. But obviously the person does have an umbrella. So yeah, these are the few lines I will do with my ruler so that I can get the bridge railing quite straight. These are steel railings, and I will try to draw a little bit more detail on the bits of the railing that are closer to us. And I'm basically almost done, actually. I will just try to draw as well just a few skyscrapers on the back, and then I'll be set to start putting color on it. All right, so I will start by using a very light yellow for the watercolor. So I'm gonna use it for the sky and for the bridge. The idea is that some of the reflected areas could be slightly yellowish, and I just didn't want to have any white left for these areas. So I will use this light yellow first, and then I will create a little bit of gray using a blue and a brown. And so I will try to do some clouds. So what you need to know is that my paper is not great. It doesn't handle water very well. So as you can see, there are little bundles little puddles of water, and I do not like this. So what I will do is that I'm going to clean and dry my brush, and I will try to remove some of the water in those puddles so that it can dry nicely on the shade after that. So that's something you need to do when you sketch on a multi-use pad that is not a watercolor pad. Usually doesn't handle water very well, so you might need to be careful not to use too much water. So that's the final result. And now I will try to have a little bit of a darker color, more saturated color. It's still like a sort of a grayish color that I have mixed up. I like mixing my own colors. I don't know if you like to use a big palette or mix your own colors. And I will use this darker area to draw some shadows. I wanted to draw these shadows while the yellow bridge, the yellow area on the bridge is still wet, so that I do not get these hard edges. So it's mainly the shadows of the pillars of the bridge, of the Brooklyn Bridge, and also the shadow of this person standing on it. And I will also add some gray shades on the pillars themselves. Without worrying too much about detail on this stage, I will just add like a uniform shade on top of that, like a gray color. Then I will have to let it dry, and I will come back later for the details. Okay, so now that these first shades of watercolor are completely dry, I will add some yellowish on the railings. I would like to use a brighter color so that it reminds us of the yellow I have put on the sky, but as well so that it does stand out and we can feel that this is closer to us. And also I will add some like cold gray on the buildings behind and the water. You will see that there are those horizontal beams sticking out of the bridge. So I haven't painted them yet, but that's why I'm not actually painting water, because actually there are some horizontal beams sticking out. So it's going to be more of a yellow color than a blue color. Okay, so we'll add just a few darker areas, and then I will take my small brush. I have a tiny little brush that comes with my watercolor set, and I will use this just to add a little bit of detail and color. So I will use it in like with a much more saturated pigment, and I will add some colors on the person standing on the bridge, but also add some shadows on the pillars and the beams. And also obviously I will also draw a few small details Like, I bet you didn't notice that there's a flag on top of the middle pillar on the bridge. Well, there is an American flag there, and I would like to make it more visible, so I will add the colors of the American flag on this one with my small brush, and some blue for the jumper of the person standing on the bridge, and so on and so forth. A little bit of more dark shadows. But yeah, generally speaking, I use this tiny bridge for the final details, unless I'm painting a really tiny painting. Okay. Now this is something I didn't do very well. I used like a dry brush to make the darkest shadows, and make it obvious that the ground is like wet, because when the ground is wet you have these very clear areas and very dark areas, but there is that shade there just in front of the middle pillar that didn't turn out very nicely, so I might have to do this painting again so that I can get it right. So as you can see, I will use a brown shade to add a little bit more detail on the railing beams, but really I'm almost done. I just need to add a little bit more color to my person standing and also the flag. So I will let you see the end of the video, but please do not hesitate to subscribe, and please do not hesitate to comment to let me know if this was a video that you enjoyed, and also what kind of cityscape watercolors you would like to see more on this channel. Would you like to see more of a European style cities, or more of an American style cities, buildings, bridges? What is it that you would like to see on this channel? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon.